Shalom, shalom. I hope everybody's having a peaceful Sabbath rest. I come on giving a message, a word from the Most High. I took before Him because I was invited in a group chat, and I know that you're watching, but this message needs to be said. Before exiting that group chat, I gave a word of where I stand with that group chat. I sit at the feet of my Mashiach, and so grieved by many of the posts because it is a false worship of a certain ex-president that will return, most likely. Who knows? Many worship him, and it is so disturbing. I don't like it. It makes me feel sick. And if the Ruach of Yah is in me, and I know he is, he's also disturbed. So, tell them how I feel. I am saddened with this false way of worship. Yes, there is religions which don't have me or my son in them. There is also this worship of this beast. Remember, the beast is a kingdom, and 7 horns on its head. This is the king's. Many at play here, many of my set-apart ones do worship the beast. They follow a man of many hats, and they call him salvation and will save. What is kept in the darkness will be revealed. I don't work in secret. I am light, which snuffs out the darkness. Don't be fooled, my children. Don't worship Trump or any that come with his brigade. Didn't I make my decree long ago, etched into tablets of stone? Do not put any mighty ones before my face. You lack wisdom and discernment. You lack sitting at my son's feet only. My sealing has already happened. And watch, many that say they love me will fall. They love their God, which is the ruler of this world. Repent now and understand that when the fall happens, it is also a climax of the worship of him who is the author of the lies, who also comes in the false name, lawless one given by the Roman Catholic Church. Who do these people worship? Jesus. That religion. Religion. Wake up. Belief is what is needed, and in my Son we are one. If you have believed, you would not have picked up such idols. This angers me and it saddens me. Get at my son's feet and repent and trust only the one that can save you, my son, Yahushua HaMashiach, or Yeshua, commonly known as Jesus, but he's not Roman or Latin, which allows access to me. He wants me to read Revelations 11, Revelations 12, and Matthew 24. Hazan, Revelations 11. And a reed like a measuring rod was given to me, and the messenger stood, saying, Rise, and measure the dwelling place of Elohim, God, and the slaughtering place, and all those worshiping in it. All of those worshiping in it. He's measuring his people that are worshiping him. But cast out the court which is outside the dwelling place, and do not measure it, for it has been given to the nations, and they shall trample the set-apart city underfoot for 42 months. And I shall give unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days clad in sackcloth. These are the 2 olive trees, and the 2 lampstands, that are standing before the Elohim of the earth. And if anyone wishes to harm them, fire comes out from their mouth and consumes their enemies. That's the fire of truth. The Torah, the word of the Most High, and the good news of our Mashiach, Yahusha. And if anyone wishes to harm them, he has to be killed in that way. These possess authority to shut the heaven, so that no rain falls in the days of their prophecy. And they shall possess authority over waters, to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues, as often as they wish. And when they have ended their witness, the beast coming up out of the pit of the deep shall fight against them and overcome them and kill them. And their dead bodies will lie in the street of the great city, which is spiritually is called Sodom, and Mitzrayim, Egypt. There our master was also impaled, Jerusalem, Yerushalayim. And some of the people and the tribes and the tongues and the nations see their dead bodies. It says some of the peoples will see their dead bodies for 3.5 days, and not allow their dead bodies to be placed into tombs. And those dwelling on the earth rejoice over them and exult. And they shall send gifts to one another, because these 2 prophets tortured those dwelling on the earth. And after the 3.5 days, the Ruach of life, spirit of life from Elohim, entered into them, and they stood upon their feet with great fear fell on those who saw them. And they heard a loud voice from the heaven saying to them, Come up here. And they went up into the heaven in a cloud, and their enemies saw them. And in that hour there came to be a great earthquake, and 1/10 of the city fell. And in the earthquake 7,000 men were killed. The rest became afraid and gave esteem to the Elohim of the heavens, otherwise known as God of the heavens. The second woe is past, and see, the third woe is coming speedily. And the 7th messenger sounded, and there came a loud voice in the heavens, saying, The reign of the world has become the reign of the Master and of his Mashiach, and he shall reign forever and ever. And the 24 elders sitting before Elohim of their thrones fell on their faces and worshipped Elohim, saying, We give you thanks, O Yahweh, El Shaddai, the one who is, and who was, and is coming, because you have taken your great power, and you reigned. And the nations were enraged. That's also in Psalms 2:1. And your wrath has come, and the time of the dead will be judged, and to give the reward to your servants, and the prophets, and the set-apart ones, and to those who fear your name, small and great, and to destroy those who destroy the earth. And the dwelling place of Elohim was open in the heaven, and the ark of his covenant was seen in the dwelling place. And there came to be lightnings, and voices, and thunders, and earthquake, and great hail. Notice how the ark of the covenant is up with the Father? It's not on earth. People are lying to you. Revelation 12. And a great sign was seen in the heaven, a woman clad with sun, with the moon under her feet, and on her head was a crown of 12 stars, and being pregnant, she cried out in labor and in pain to give birth. And another sign was seen in the heaven, and see a great fiery red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns on his head. And this tail draws 1/3 of the stars of the heaven and throws them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, who was about to give birth, to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she bore a son, a male, who was to shepherd all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught away to Elohim and to his throne. But the woman, his servants, the set-apart ones, who are washed clean, otherwise known as the 144. The woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared by Elohim to be nourished for 1,260 days, 3.5 years. And there came to be fighting in the heaven. Michael and the messengers fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his messengers fought. And they were not strong enough, nor was a place found for them in the heaven any longer. The great dragon was thrown out, that serpent of old, called the devil, and Hashatan, Satan, who leads all the world astray. He leads them all astray? He was thrown to the earth, and his messengers were thrown out with him. And I heard a loud voice saying to the heaven, now have come the deliverance and the power and the reign of our Elohim and the authority of the Mashiach, the Messiah, commonly known as the Christ. For the accuser of our brothers, who accused them before the Elohim day and night, and has been thrown down. And they overcame him because of the blood of the Lamb, and because of the word of their witness, and they did not love their lives to death. Because of this, rejoice, O heavens, and you who dwell in them. Woe to the earth and the sea, because the devil has come down to you having great wrath, knowing that his time is little. And when the dragon saw that he had been thrown to the earth, he persecuted the woman who gave birth to the male. And the woman was given 2 wings of the great eagle to fly into the wilderness of her place. There she is nourished for a time, times, and half a times from the presence of the serpent. And out of his mouth the serpent spewed water like a river after the woman, to cause her to be swept away by the river. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed up the river, which the dragon had spewed out of his mouth. And the dragon was enraged with the woman, and he went to fight with the remnant of her seed, those guarding the commands of the Most High, Elohim, and possessing the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach, the law and the testimony. Matthew 24. And going out, Yahushua went away from the set-apart place, and his taught ones came near to point out to him the buildings of the set-apart place. And Yahushua said to them, do you not see all of these? And truly I say to you, not one stone shall be left on another at all, which shall not be thrown down. And as he sat on the Mount of Olives, the taught ones had come separately, saying, say to us, when shall this be? And what is the sign of your coming, and of the end of this age? And of the end of age. And Yahushua answering said to them, take heed that no one leads you astray. For many will come in my name. These governments are coming in the name of Jesus, which is the lawless one given by Rome. And they are not following the Torah. They don't believe in the witness, the good news, the real good news. And they are saying, I am the Messiah, and they shall lead many astray. And you shall begin to hear of fightings and report of fightings. See that you are not troubled. Believe. For these have to take place, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and reign against reign, and there shall be scarcities of food and deadly diseases. There is another pandemic on the doorsteps, with another vaccine that Bill Gates already is publishing. And it's a self-assembling vaccine. Be very afraid of that vaccine. Stay very far away from it. Don't let it go into your body. Don't. That is a warning from the Most High. This last one had nothing compared to this one. And there shall be scarcities of food, deadly diseases, and earthquakes in places. And all of these are the beginning of the birth pains. Then they shall deliver you up to affliction, to kill you, and you shall be hated by all the nations for my name's sake. And then many shall stumble, and they shall deliver up one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets will arise up, and lead many astray. Deuteronomy 13 is the false prophet test. If they're coming to you and they're not keeping the commandments of the Most High and the true good news testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach, they are false. They are false. Deuteronomy 13, go read it. And because of the increase in lawlessness, what law? Not the world's law, Father's law. The love of many shall grow cold. But he who shall have endured to the end shall be saved. And this good news of the reign shall be proclaimed in all the world as a witness to all the nations, and then the end will come. We have to reproclaim it because the Roman Catholic Church took over and all the religions went with her. They whored with her. They have taken up the lawless mantle and they went running with her. They participate in these pagan religions. They are so disturbing, and they are sacrificed children on these days in the ancient days, and they still do it to this day. Open your eyes. This person that's coming out that will proclaim the fall of the cabal may be doing something what appears to be good, but be very careful because he wants to be worshipped, and he's already worshipped. Open your eyes. So when you see the abomination that lays waste, spoken of in Daniel 11:31, set up in the set-apart place, and he who reads, let him understand. Then let those who are in Yahudah, Judah, flee to the mountains. This is 70 AD, this part. Let him who is in the housetop not come down to take whatever out of his house. And let him who is in the field not turn back to get his garments. And woe to those who are pregnant and those who are nursing children in those days. And pray that your flight does not take place in the winter or on the Sabbath. For then there shall be great distress, such as never been since the beginning of the world, until this time, no, nor has ever shall be. And if those days were not shortened, no flesh would be saved. But for the sake of the chosen ones, those days shall be shortened. And if anyone then says to you, look, here is the Mashiach, or there, do not believe. He is within. Manifest the kingdom now. He is coming in something that is not perceivable. You cannot see it. He's already here. He gave the kingdom, the Ruach, the Spirit. He wants you to manifest him so he can work through us now. He will come. But right now, people are looking at the sky and they're waiting for this sky god. Religion has lied to you. He is here. He has entered into the ones who believe him. He has given a new heart to those who keep his word and the testimony. For false messiahs and false prophets shall arise. Deuteronomy 13 is your false prophet test. And they shall show great signs and wonders, so as to lead astray, if possible, even the chosen ones. See, I have forewarned you. So if they say to you, look, he is in the desert, do not go out. Or look, he is in the inner room, do not believe. For as lightning comes from the east and shines to the west, so also shall the coming of the Son of Man be. For wherever the dead body is, there the vultures shall be gathered together. And immediately after the distress of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon shall not give its light, and the stars shall fall from the heaven. This is in Isaiah 13:10 and 24:23, and Ezekiel 32:7 and 8, and Joel 2:10-31, and also chapter 3:15. And the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then the sign of the Son of Man shall appear in the heaven, and then all the tribes of the earth shall mourn. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds. And then the sign of the Son of Man shall appear in the heaven, And then all the tribes of the earth shall mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of the heaven with power and much esteem. And he shall send his messengers with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his chosen ones from the four winds, from one end of the heaven to the other. And learn this parable from the fig tree. When its branch has already become tender and puts forth leaves, you know that summer is near. So you also, when you see all of these, know that he is near and at the doors. But truly I say to you, this generation shall by no means pass away until all this takes place. What generation? People get confused. The wicked generation that has been decreed for a time, for a long time, right? For the time of the Gentiles are fulfilled, right? Till the times of the Gentiles are fulfilled. The heaven and the earth shall pass away, but my words shall by no means pass away. But concerning that day and the hour no one knows, not even the messengers of the heavens, but my Father only. And as the days of Noah, so also shall the coming of the Son of Man be. For as they were in the days before the flood, eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark. Genesis 7:7. And they did not know until the flood had come and took them all away. So also shall the coming of the Son of Man be. Then two shall be in a field, one taken, one left. Two women shall be grinding at the mill, one taken, one left. Watch therefore, for you do not know the hour your master is coming. And know this, if the master of the house had known at the hour the thief would come, he would have watched and not allowed his house to be broken into. That's your temple, your body. Because of this, be ready too, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour when you do not expect him. Who then is trustworthy and wise servant, whom his master set over his household to give them food in its season? Baruch, blessed is that servant whom his master, having come, shall find him so doing. Watching over his temple, watching over what he hears, what he sees, what he speaks, what enters into his heart, what enters into the mind. Deuteronomy chapter 5, go read it. Deuteronomy chapter 6 is the Shema, go read it. Truly I say to you that he shall set him over all his possessions. But if that evil servant says in his heart, my master is delaying his coming, and begins to beat his fellow servant, and to eat and drink with drunkards, the master of the servant shall come on a day when he is not expecting it, and at an hour he does not know, and shall cut him in two, and appoint him his portion with hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth with hypocrites. So, where is your salvation? Where is it? It should be in the Most High. Your belief, your belief should be in the Most High. Your salvation comes from His Son, but it comes from Yahweh. He sent His Son to bleed. He gave His body. He's the perfect sacrifice to keep us from all of this crap, so death doesn't win. And it, so while I was reading this, he gave me this. Yeshayahu 3, Isaiah 3. For look, the Master Yahweh of hosts is turning aside from Yerushalayim and from Yehuda the stock and the store, and all the supply of bread and all the supply of water, the mighty man and the man of battle, the judge and the prophet, the diviner and the elder, the commander of 50 and the highly respected man. and the counselor, and the skilled craftsman, and the clever enchanter. And I shall make youths their heads, and children shall rule over them. And the people shall exert pressure, man on his neighbor. The young rise up against the older, and the lightly esteemed against the highly esteemed. When a man takes hold of his brother in the house of his father by the garment, and says, Come, be a chief over us, and let this ruin be under your hand, he shall swear in that day, saying, I am not a healer, for in my house is neither bread nor garment. Do not make me a chief of the people. For Jerusalem has stumbled, and Yehuda has fallen, because their tongue and their doings are against Yahweh, to provoke his eyes of his esteem. The look on their faces witnesses against them, and they declare their sin as Sodom, and they do not hide it. Woe to their being, for they have brought evil upon themselves. Say to the righteous, It is well, for they eat the fruit of their doings. But woe to the wrong, the evil, for the reward of his hand is done to him. My people, youth exert pressure on them, and women rule over them. O my people, your leaders lead you astray and swallow the way of your paths. Yahweh shall stand up to plead, and is standing to judge the peoples. Yahweh enters into judgment with the elders of his people and its heads. It is you who have eaten up the vineyard, the plunder of the poor in the houses. What do you mean by crushing my people and grinding the faces of the poor, declares the Master Yahweh of hosts. And Yahweh says, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, and walk with outstretched necks and seductive eyes, walking and menacing as they go, making a jingling with their feet, before Yahweh shall smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and Yahweh expose their nakedness. And in that day Yahweh takes away the finery of the anklets, and the headbands, and the crescents, the pendants, the bracelets, and the veils, the headdresses, and the leg ornaments, and the sashes, and the perfume bottles, and the amulets, the rings, and the noisiest jewels, the costly the nose jewels, the costly robes, and the cloaks, and the shawls, and the purses, the mirrors, and the fine linen, and the turbans, and the large veils. And it shall be, instead of a sweet fragrance and a smell of decay, and it shall be, instead of a sweet fragrance, a smell of decay, instead of a belt, a rope, and instead of instead of well set hair, baldness, and instead of festal robe, a girding of sackcloth, and a branding instead of loveliness. Your men shall fall by the sword, and your strength in battle. And her gates shall lament and mourn, and she, deserted, shall sit on the ground. It is all spiritual now, y'all. Demons are already here, working in the bodies of many lawless people. You can't even deny it now, how bad it is. I don't want to be placed upon any group that is political, that is trying to take my focus off of the Most High and sitting at the Son's feet. I have been proclaiming this for months now. Sit at the Son's feet. Repent. He is coming. He's going to use his messengers to rise up and gather the harvest. That is coming too. The great falling away from religion and the great awakening, but also the falling of his truth that many are already in will fall because their hearts aren't set on belief in him or his son or sitting at his feet. They're being led astray by such crap. The government isn't for you. I don't care how great Trump may be or Biden or whatever. None of them are for you. all of them are against you. You need to understand that they all work for the same entity. They don't care about you. They appear to care about you. But they're still going to inject you. Operation Warp Speed was brought on by Trump. Wake up. Wake up. None of them are good. They're all being used. Father allows this for a season, but his will rise up. I love you, Mishpaka. His love warns. Come out of her. All of her systems. Or go through the plagues. Don't just worship with your mouth. Your heart needs to be overhauled and born from above. Even the demons believe and they shudder. You need to have faith combined with belief, born from above. Shalom, shalom.